2018 dawns and the Basketball Champions League returns to your screen. A very good evening wherever you are. And Thessalonica is ready for the latest instalment in an enticing and intriguing Pool B encounter between PAOK and Capo d'Orlando. Orlandina in 7th spot, PAOK in 6th. And these two teams, as the run-in to the knockout stages begins in earnest, really need victory tonight in northern Greece if they're to maintain their push for that knockout stage. This is how it looks in terms of the Group B games. Neptunus against Ludwigsburg already underway. Tenerife against Gaziantep and Elan Chalon as well involved in the later game. And this is how the standings look right now, and you can see just how tight it is. And while PAOK, neither PAOK nor Orlandina can really afford to let that gap grow any further. 2 points for PAOK, 3 points, of course, for Orlandina. So significant game up ahead for both these two. And contrasting form, you have to say, for both of these teams. Orlandina not able to produce any sort of form over Christmas, losing all 3 of their domestic leagues. Look out for the big man, Wojciechowski, in the centre position. Huge man at over 2 meters and 13 centimeters tall. A huge presence inside and plenty of height to back him up as well. But as I mentioned, form not on the Italians' side, losing all 3 games over the Christmas period domestically. As for PAOK, well, they come off a very impressive victory over Olympiacos in the domestic league, and they're a real in form at the moment. Charalampoulos and Phil Goss very much to the fore in that win at the weekend, and it was their 6th win in 7 games since the middle of November domestically. Not quite so hot in the Basketball Champions League, but 2 wins out of 3 has certainly boosted their cause in the bid for the knockout stages. Margaritis, such experience, and that will certainly be required tonight as we prepare to check a look at the starting 5s for each team. Promises to be quite an atmosphere inside this magnificent PAOK Sports Arena in Thessalonica. They can get rather feisty, the home crowd. Game at the back end of last season against Ventspils got very lively indeed, with all manner of conversation, shall we say, taking place between the bench and the fans. So as the announcements take place, we'll see the arrival of the 2 teams and the introductions take place. Experienced coaches, of course, in charge. But let's see the visitors from Sicily. As you can see, very tall team. They've got to pick up some form. They lost to Scandoni, Venezia and Cantu by pretty hefty margins as well. 97-69, 59-91, 96-73. There's Wojciechowski. I don't think you'll have trouble picking him out, and there is the coach for Orlandina, Gennaro Di Carlo. But here, the home team get their introductions. That win over Olympiacos, real challenge. It's taken them to fifth in the table. Charalampoulos, Phil Goss, so too as well Daniel Jackson. Very much to the fore, 9 points to Charalampoulos, 24 to Goss, and 14 points to Darnell Jackson. There is Goss, and there is the familiar face of Ilias Papatheodorou, one of the real coaching talents in Europe. Handshake's done. There is Di Carlo. And a chance to see our three officials who are in charge for tonight's proceedings. Let me tell you that the earlier game in Group B, Tunis leading Ludwigsburg by 23 points to 22 in the second quarter there. So perhaps that might have a bearing on how significant tonight's game could be, with our officials from Bosnia and Israel we value and respect the officials in the Basketball Champions League. So much pressure on everybody. There is Darnell Jackson. Look for him to continue that that form that he took into the Olympiacos game, and there is the starting five for Orlandina. And look, two centres, two guards, three guards in fact. Delas and Wojciechowski will certainly be a handful inside. Perhaps not most mobile, but we shall see how Di Carlo manages his troops and can get the very best out of them over the first quarter or so. No surprises there either. Charalampoulos, Goss, Jackson, the stars of the weekend, alongside plenty of experience in the rest of the lineup too. Palhares has to sit it out, however. And the final instructions go to both teams. What will the instructions be ahead of this game tonight? PAOK, all the pressure on them, you would say, on home court. Alan Shalam and Neptunus at home to come in the remaining games. Trips to Tenerife, the team that put them out of the last 16, and Ventspils, they're big rivals from the Baltic states. As for Orlandina, well, their need is surely even greater than PAOK. Given the poor run of form that they've had in this competition up until very recently. And he looks a slightly nervous figure, doesn't he, Papatheodorou? Home form, rather scratchy, you have to say. Jackson will watch as Chrysikopoulos seems to want to steal the ball off the officials. Not sure he's quite going to let him do that, but it's Jacks against Wojciechowski. And we are underway in Thessaloniki in Group B of the Basketball Champions League. And straight into the action is Atsur for Orlandina, all in vain. So away comes Katsivelis, but immediately a foul called on Orlandina. And it's Wojciechowski, the man who gets the opprobrium from the official. Goss all the way out to Chrysikopoulos, off the rim. And away come Orlandina. All a bit sloppy, though. But surely that was a charge, and yes, all very messy indeed from Charalampoulos. Not particularly impressed with himself there. Travel, caught. And here's Kuboka. Atsur. Looking at his options, gets the screen from Dallas. And off it pops from the rim, and nobody seemingly wanted to score right now. Katsivelis looking for Chrysikopoulos, but away come the Sicilians. Dallas again. Alibegovic. Tries it from downtown. Once again, the execution not there. Goss, bit more pace from the American, but might have been a little block from Orlandina. And away they come once more. Wojciechowski. Atsur. Inside, and surely the layup will be there, but again Orlandina can't finish off. And Wojciechowski, despite his best efforts, is rather hustled off it. Katsivelis coming away with a call. And here he is again. Goss. All sorts of attention in front of him. Gets it away to Katsivelis. Oh, terrific finish. And that's livened proceedings up. And let's be honest, he needed it. First points of the night. And Atsur immediately responds. Katsivelis trying to go all on his own for a moment or two. A rather sloppy pass aimed towards Chrysikopoulos goes awry. Atsur will take a breath. Gets something of a block from Wojciechowski. Inside to Dallas, over the top. Can Wojciechowski finish? No. Not exactly the most graceful touch from the big centre. Katsivelis for PAOK. Here's Goss. So many points against Olympiakos. Not so clever from Chrysikopoulos. Kuboka running down a bit of a blind alley, gets the shot away, but the foul is called on Goss, who can't quite understand the call. But that was something to enjoy from Katsivelis, wasn't it? That's going to be the way that PAOK take Orlandina on, as Kuboka goes to the line. Carniaris into the game for Katsivelis. Now let's see how Orlandina impress their advantage at free throw time, averaging about 75% compared to 68 from PAOK in the competition so far. 2 from 2. Here's Coniaris. Oh, just a little, very sloppy introduction from Coniaris. Watch this again. Well, it was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? And they just can't hold the ball at the moment. Atso tries to go all in his own. Alibegovic back inside to Dallas. Getting too much penetration, but there it is. Atso finishes off, and the layup is good. Landina just playing the simpler basketball at the moment and the more effective basketball, and they have the early advantage after 4 early minutes. Here's Goss, though, trying to put things right for PAOK. Coniaris trying to find Jackson, lays it up, can't finish, but he'll draw the foul off Wojciechowski. Lovely vision from Coniaris, knew exactly what he was doing, and the shove into the ribs. There for all to see. Jackson then to the line. Two early fouls for Wojciechowski. Three points the advantage then for Orlandina. Going to keep the pace up. Here's Atso. Dallas. Alibegovic trying to inject a bit of life into the play. Over the top towards Dallas. Atso for 3. Won't drop for him. And the rebound doesn't go their way either. Donda in the lineup, but he can't do anything but watch Jackson finish with aplomb. You can pick all the centres you like in your roster, but if they're not there in time, they're going to get punished on a home crowd like that. Jackson for the extra, and we're all square. Three big centres in the lineup tonight for Orlandina. Here's one of them, Dallas. Kulboka, not quite so far in the proceedings. Over the top to Dallas. Donda looking for some room, but there's a nudge in the back from Christopoulos. Atso. Will he go all on his own? He had the option. No, inside to Dallas, and that's beautifully done. Simple stuff. Well executed, just what Coach DiCarlo will want. Coniaris under all sorts of pressure. Who's going to come away with it? Well, in the end, the officials have to step in. And here's the move again. Lovely vision. And patient play. Waiting for the opening. Dallas now with just the 2 points. It's Atso who leads Orlandina scoring with 4. From downtown. No good from Zaras. Lovely spin from Dallas, and Donda will finish off. And it's been Orlandina's opener so far. Getting so many good looks inside right now. And a call on Kulboka. Slightly fresher-faced look to the man he caught, Charalampoulos. But there was the spin from Dallas, and Donda right on the money. Encouraging stuff this so far from the Sicilians, and that's good defence, keeping Zaras held up. Jackson finds Chrysikopoulos in the corner, but once again it won't land. Begovic for Orlandina. The Sicilians are in fine touch right now. Kulboka all the way out for the outside, off the rim though. Away comes Koniaris. He might go all himself, but Jackson was the intended recipient, and Orlandina read it. Begovic. Dallas almost acting like a point guard, tallest point guard you'll ever see. That's all. Simple. Oh, well, you give him that sort of space, and he's going to punish you every day of the week. 6-point advantage for the Sicilians, and seems like PAOK have seen enough for now. Timeout called. 3 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the game. In the first quarter, I should say, of course. They're shooting less than 30% inside, and you can hear the reaction already. Coach Papatheodorou, very animated already. Much of a muchness off the glass. But the shooting percentages, well, Orlandina, 41% shooting inside, barely 28% for PAOK. Better from outside though, 3-point shooting. Beg your pardon. Those stats, I should say, overall shooting 28.5% for PAOK compared to 41% Orlandina. We've had 7 3-point attempts, not one made so far by either team. And here comes the press from Orlandina, trying to keep the pressure on. Foul called. Soklas, who didn't get a moment against Olympiakos at the weekend, brought in for Koniaris. Stojanovic in for Atzor for Orlandina. And there he is. Kulboka. Begovic with time and space. Off the rim. And there comes Chrysikopoulos. Soklas. Jackson. And he uses presence against Dallas when he does try and work off him and lands the basket. And that is what PAOK need right now. Got to the low post and got there ahead of his man. Can't ask for much more than that. 2 fouls as well, so that's 2 fouls on Dallas and 2 also on Wojciechowski as well. So 2 of the big centres in a spot of early foul trouble. Jackson, who's delivering already, gets a well-earned breather for a moment. Doing that for years and years since he left Kansas. Back in 2008, a national champion as well, and plenty of experience beyond that since as well. So much time around the NBA in Cleveland, Milwaukee, Sacramento too. Traveled the world as well, but it's Orlandina who have possession at the moment. Donna finds Stefanovic. And a go all himself, off the glass. Wonderful finish. Lifted up from downtown. Sikeliarchivi cuts the gap. PAOK are going to need a bit more of that. Entering the last 2 minutes of the opener. Donda trying to get the break for Koboka, but here's Alibegovic as time runs out. Stolen. Away comes Jones. Will he get the rebound? Not quite. Still be PAOK ball. Well, it's all fun and games though at the moment. This was Sikeliarchivi from three-point range. Few better sights in the game than the well-executed three-point play. Timeout called by Orlandina this time. What will the coaches want to say this time? These the shooting percentages then. Effective, but not getting nearly the number of opportunities. Sikeliarchivi's three, incidentally. First successful three-point play in 9 attempts for both teams. So it can only improve from here on in. So 14 seconds on the shot clock. PAOK ball. Jones all the way out across to Zaras, off the rim, and Orlandina will come away with it. Stojanovic with Sikeliarchivi for company. Dallas has had a decent start to the game. Hint of a travel there, but can't land the play in the end. There's Sikeliarchivi getting the screen from Sikeliarchivi, and isn't that effective? PAOK suddenly in the lead. Stojanovic looking for options. Koboka is one of them. Oh, thought about driving to the basket. Zaras saw it, poured him back, and there's a call for an unsportsmanlike there, I'd suggest. But Sikeliarchivi, oh, terrific stuff. Got the acreage that he needed to pull that one off. No unsportsmanlike call on Zaras. It is his first foul, as you can see, so Koboka will go to the line. %100% so far, Orlandina from the free throw line. There's Jones then to see what he can produce. Still time for Orlandina to get one more play in at least. Sikeliarchivi. Options ahead of him. Zaras almost loses it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. But Sikeliarchivi is under all sorts of pressure. And away come Orlandina through Stojanovic. Just half a second differential. So this should be the last play of the quarter, and it's going to be Stojanovic who takes the responsibility. And suddenly Orlandina back to a three-point advantage. Jones is blocked. And it's a rather messy conclusion to that first quarter, which, to be fair to Orlandina, they deserve to take a three-point advantage into the break. No real high scoring. Stojanovic with 4, Kulboka with 4. That's leading scorer with 6, but they've had the advantage and they've kept the pressure on a very loose PAOK team so far. His main threat has come through SikeliArchivi, although that drive to the basket early on from SikeliArchivi, a real standout moment. Atser with plenty of good movement and good things from him. Orlandina really taking things through quickly. Drawing the man as Atser there to create the space for Dallas. He's impressed me so far, but not as much as this man, Daniel Jackson. Still producing the goods at 32 years of age, but good teamwork can always outsmart individuals. Jackson not with an awful lot of support, it has to be said, so far. Perhaps with the exception of SikeliArchivi. And Stojanovic has certainly made an impression since coming on middle of the first quarter. SikeliArchivi landing from distance. And we're back underway at the start of the second. Atser in, and Begovic out for Orlandina. SikeliArchivi in for SikeliArchivi for PAOK, as we see PAOK come away with it through Shoklis, Margaritis, Zaras, SikeliArchivi and Jones out there for the home team. Shoklis, oh, nice inside. Margaritis finds the corner, but Zaras can't finish. Stojanovic, not surprisingly, staying out there for Orlandina. Atser, Kulboka, Dallas, Stojanovic and Donda keeping these two centre movements. There's one of them. Dallas, who can't find the opening shot of the quarter. It's PAOK's rebound. Lucky Jones has to go all the way across. Donda called for the foul. Shoklis. Zaras. Back to Shoklis. But there's just a hand in there from Dallas, and that's a third foul, I think, for him so far. It is. Will we see a change made early on in this second quarter? No, he's still going to stay out there. Shoklis for PAOK. Looking for Margaritis, and Dallas will pick up the intersection, and though it's clean down to the hands of Kulboka as he drives to the basket. Shoklis trying to make up for his bad pass. And it's Shoklis who makes way. He's looked good so far from the line. There's Kulboka. %100% so far, and he maintains his record so far. I make that 6 from 6. SikeliArchivi back into the game now for PAOK. SikeliArchivi. Outside attempt from Zaras, and that's just what the doctor ordered. Back to a 2-point game. Stojanovic under pressure from that man, Zaras. Not entirely certain it was intended for Donda, but he got there in the end, and Stojanovic nearly profited. Great work off the glass, though, from Dallas, who has really come to the party tonight. 4-point game. And a little foul coming in from Stojanovic, I think, on Zaras. Here's Dallas' work, just the touch, and then the persistence to get in ahead of Margaritis. PAOK back at the other end now. Here is Margaritis. Zaras. Thought about going inside. That's an outrageous effort from three, but very nearly a nice alley-oop. Converted by SikeliArchivi. Shot clock violation, though. Not quite got going just yet. Very, very bits and pieces so far, though. That helps with the steal from Jones. Well, the officials will call it back. Boca then to get things back underway. Atsur. Dallas out of the game, incidentally, for Orlandina. Ali Begovic is in, but there's a travel there from Donda. That's that extra step. The officials didn't entirely need the assistance from the PAOK players there as Wojciechowski comes in for Donda. Oh, steal. Away comes Ali Begovic. And Orlandina are loving this at the moment in Thessalonica. 6-point game. Looking for another steal from Katsiavadis. Turnover's a real problem at the moment for PAOK, not that so Zaras. 5 points to him now. 20-24. 6:50 in the game. At least in the first half remaining. Oh, nice move. Wojciechowski can't finish it off, though. Terrific pass from Atsur. Lucky Jones trying to get things going. Back out to SikeliArchivi. If he finishes that, that'll be special. It is special. Game starting to open up just a little bit. Wojciechowski, oh, bad pass. Picked off by Katsiavadis. Finished off by SikeliArchivi. We're all tied and the timeout forced. He will love that. He might look like an Easter Island statue with all the joy and verve associated with that, but Papa Theodoro will be very, very impressed with the way his players have turned it on in the last couple of minutes. That slam dunk from Ali Begovic notwithstanding. Zaras, just the little floater. Lucky Jones has got energised. Wonderful vision to pick out SikeliArchivi for that. Got to get him into the game, Pam, at the moment. SikeliArchivi has been very quiet so far. As the instructions go to the Orlandina players. Interesting little run developing. Elsewhere, incidentally, I can tell you that Ludwigsburg lead Neptunus 42-33 at half-time. Also in Group B. 2 more games to come tonight in the Basketball Champions League Group B as well. So much to enjoy. Don't take your eyes off this one. This has got plenty of mileage to go at the moment. Ali Begovic down. Have to get across the halfway line pretty smartly. Just about made the 7 seconds there. Finding some space. Ali Begovic for 3. Never looked like swishing the net there. Lovely inside ball and finished off with a plum. PAOK back in front. Atsur. Begovic. Kuboka. Wonderful spin. That was not quite up to that standard though, the finish. Lucky Jones now for PAOK. Vision from Margaritis there to pick out Jones under the basket. Something very, very sweet indeed. Beginning to get some consistency in their play at the moment. Wojciechowski, anything but for Orlandina. And Charalampoulos just has to hold up play, bring the others in. Lucky Jones in the corner, brings the home crowd to life. Papatheodorou off the bench, really getting animated. It's PAOK's biggest lead of the night, 7 points. And you're seeing the difference between keeping possession and constantly giving turnovers away. That's pretty handy from Wojciechowski. His first points of the night. SikeliArchivi dispossessed. And back come Orlandina. Ali Begovic for 3. It's a 1-point game. This game is just so difficult to call right now. Talk about ebb and flow. Are either team going to start defending at the moment? Wonderful step from Margaritis. Left his man for dead. Atsur. There's Wojciechowski at the post. Another man tries for 3 this time. It's Langana. Doesn't work out for him though. Oh, that was a hard foul on SikeliArchivi. Ali Begovic though, making this look very, very easy indeed. Mr. Carlo, as you'd expect, excited by that. As we see a double change, Zaras stepping out. And Phil Goss coming back into the game. Charalampoulos makes way. Well, we'll take the sideline ball, of course. 3-point game. 3 minutes 17 and a half. SikeliArchivi. Here is Charalampoulos. Oh, eventually it drops, but it's just the 2. Foul there on SikeliArchivi as well. And the referee, I think, is just going to double check that shot. I thought there was a foot on the line. Yeah, quite right. Official was certain that it was a 2-point play. Scoreboard now correct. Here's Dallas. Sets off Wojciechowski. No good, off the rim. And here come PAOK at pace. SikeliArchivi. Oh, drives it all the way through, and the layup lands, and PAOK are back to 7 points up. They need more of this. Well, this is the PAOK that's driven themselves up the Greek league. Sort of performance that beat Olympiacos last time out. Oh, that's pretty average from Atsor, but Ali Begovic will get another chance, and doesn't he take it? Yet another three-point play made by Orlandina. Here's Goss this time. Never looked remotely like going in, but a fine rebound from Charalampoulos. Katsiavelis will just pause for a moment. Here is Charalampoulos off the rim. Stojanovic will come away with it. Does it all himself. And timeout call. I think no, we're just going to see it change as Atsor comes off. 2 points in it then. Just on the three-point play, we've had 24 three-point attempts now in the game. The first 9 were missed. So I make it 7 from the next 15. Pretty useful. As Wojciechowski comes off and Donda steps back in for Orlandina. Atsor out. Kulboka back in as well. Jones tries to do it all himself. And there's a foul somewhere in the pile of bodies as Krubali makes his first contribution of the game. As he's fouled by, well, it could be it's probably Dallas, but it could be Donda as well. Begovic, the man called. It's Krubali at the line now as we see more changes made. Kaniaris back in, as you saw. Katsiavelis will take a breather. Krubali with both from the line. 4-point advantage for the home team. Stojanovic finds Dallas. Dallas lifts it up for Donda, but he's got too much company. And just at the moment, it's the more effective basketball from PAOK in this last 4 or 5 minutes or so. Charalampoulos gets it out. Goss to get the screen that he needs. He has to shoot off balance, can't land it. Decent rebound from Jones, though. Not a second quarter Orlandina will want to review on the tapes. Donda, poor pass, and it comes off the hands of first Goss, but then an Orlandina player or so, the officials say. Let's look at it again. There is the touch. And maybe PAOK have got away with one there. Goss was always ambitious there, but when you've got rebounding presence such as Lucky Jones, you can afford to go for those sorts of shots. As we see another change. A couple of changes, in fact. Lagana in. Ali Begovic out, Zaris in, Jones out. In fact, Ali Begovic has gone back in because Dallas has stepped out for Orlandina. Kaniaris. Last few seconds of the half, lifts it up, off the rim, and that is that. And PAOK win the second quarter by 9 points, 26-17. They lead by 6 overall. Kaniaris with a consoling word from the coach to greet him as they step towards the locker room. But PAOK have cut out the turnovers and they've delivered much more effective basketball. In a game that neither team really can afford to lose, you would think, as we start to get close now towards the business end. And the run in towards the knockout stages. Not many high-scoring performances so far. It's been very much a team effort on both sides of the court. Bear in mind, in Group B, PAOK 2 points behind fourth spot. The margin for Orlandina, 3 points. That was what got the game going. Katsiavelis driving to the basket with real power. Atsor off the glass early on for the Sicilians. You can tell you in the other games, incidentally. Ludwigsburg with a healthy advantage. All of 14 points midway through the third quarter at Neptunus. And 2 more Group B games to come tonight. Chalon against Ventspils and Tenerife against Gaziantep. Those 2 games, of course, tomorrow night. Orlandina able to profit early on during the first quarter from a number of turnovers. PAOK still behind on that margin. 11 turnovers so far. 7 so far for Orlandina. Promises to be a very interesting second half. Do join us very shortly indeed. Welcome back to Thessalonica, where PAOK have a 6-point advantage over Orlandini in this Group B Basketball Champions League game, which neither side can afford to lose. Going into it, PAOK still 2 points adrift of the top four. And the Sicilians, well, they're a point further back as well, so they really can't afford to let this one slip as we start to enter the final running, you might say, in the Basketball Champions League. There's some 4 more group fixtures to come for each team. And the pressure starting to build as we get towards the business end. But great to see so many basketball fans of all ages coming out to watch the Basketball Champions League. And they've been entertained by a first half that really has ebbed and flowed. Possessions rather scratchy for PAOK early on that allowed the visitors to take a 3-point advantage at the end of the first quarter, 18-15. But by far the more effective basketball coming from the men from northern Greece. They've spread their points right across that team. Jackson and Jones leading the scoring with 7 points apiece. But Charalampoulos has got 6. Zaras 5. 4 each for Margaritis, who's been rather quiet, as has Katsiavelis, apart from a terrific drive early on that was the first points on the board. But as for the Sicilians, well, Orlandini, they have certainly got to shake things up. Back though to PAOK, and what's been most impressive is that Phil Goss, who enjoyed 24 points against Olympiakos at the weekend, still to get 1 so far tonight, 0-3 so far from the field. Coach DiCarlo, the man in charge of Orlandini, in his 3rd season with the club as well now as head coach. Had a spell as assistant prior to that. Need to see something sharpen up from his team very quickly if they're going to overturn this deficit and get back to challenge for a knockout place. Group B game earlier on today as well. Deep into the 3rd quarter. It looks like Ludwigsburg are enjoying themselves. They lead by 12 at Neptunus, 64-52. So they'll go clear of Tenerife on top of Group B for now. 2nd against 3rd, that one, of course. Neptunus not quite getting close at the moment. But let's focus on this game here, because there's so much riding on it now for these two teams. Last instructions then. Looking like Jackson, Katsiavelis coming on, all the subterfuge and the like being employed to just keep the opposition waiting just that little bit longer. Jones, Jackson, Goss among those starting the second half for PAOK. And we're ready to go. Greeks then with the 6-point lead. And we're back underway in Thessalonica. Margaritis, Katsivelis, Jackson, Goss and Jones on the court. Here is Daniel Jackson. Katsivelis looking for Jackson over the top, drives it home. Oh, that's special. Never looked like missing. And takes it entirely in his stride. Orlandina with Alibegovic, Kulboka, Delas, Wojciechowski and Stojanovic. Naturally enough after his second quarter, but Jones is called for the foul. That was such strong work from Jackson at the post. First foul though, unlucky Jones. Stojanovic finds Delas. Alibegovic. Stojanovic. Arguably the best player in the second quarter for Orlandina, but didn't leave himself enough time. It's a shot clock violation. In the third quarter, picking up where the second left off. Jones. Kulboka for company. Katsivelis looks for three. Oh, nailed it. Stojanovic looking to get Orlandina going here. They're trailed by 9 and, well, 11 points now. They've got to get things moving. That's not going to work from Kulboka. But it's a great, almost great defensive work from Wojciechowski as it comes off the boots of Alibegovic. Let's look at this again. Clean as a whistle from Katsivelis. Goss now for PAOK. Jackson. Try Katsivelis again, shall they? He is lining up this third quarter, and PAOK are taking control. A 14-point lead now. Delas. Orlandina with big problems now. Delas gets it away. Oh, sometimes you wonder whether a no-look pass really does need a look, and that one certainly did. Here's Goss trying to go himself inside to Jones. Margaritis off the rim. And Orlandina can breathe a little easier. Oh, that's wild from Alibegovic. And it feels like the heart's going out of their game when Katsivelis keeps punishing them, this time from the corner. But they're playing with real panache right now. That was the first of the 2 threes in the third quarter. A timeout, not surprisingly, called by Orlandina, who are all at sea.
Now, no next quarter, no tomorrow. Now, help each other. Keep the fight. We lose aggressiveness on defense. You guard, point guard, full court. Goss, Lucky Jones, other 2 bigs. Okay? Let's go.
Coach DiCarlo with all sorts of problems to sort out. Three-point shooting has really come to life for Patna after a very sticky opening, shooting 35% from beyond the arc right now. And they have their biggest lead, 14 points. And here's Katsivelis, who has looked very, very hot after the break. We're going to give it to him again. Can he set up a third? No, it's the fake inside. And back out it goes. Goss inside the last 5 seconds on the shot clock. No problem for Goss, though. The lead up to 16. Stolen by Catsivelis, but the officials will bring play back. So sweetly done, wasn't it? Floated up by Goss. He's probably been given a little bit of encouragement by his coach. Brings some of the play that he produced at the weekend into this one. Here's Stojanovic just about keeping it in the half court. Goes alone with the layup. And Orlandina need more of that. Catsivelis. Brutal foul. I think it was Wojciechowski who's been called. Margaritis not going to be allowed anywhere near that, as he nearly has his head taken off. Third foul on Wojciechowski. First one successful for Margaritis, who had not a quiet opening quarter, but he's got 5 points to his name now. Make that 6. And he hasn't really needed to, the way the likes of Jackson and luckily Catsivelis have come to the fore. Good, strong defensive work from Catsivelis there as well. Putting the pressure on Stojanovic. They've cut him out of the game almost entirely in this second half. And just trying to be cute, but it doesn't quite work. Still Orlandina ball. Stojanovic, great no-look pass to Ali Begovic, outside, beautiful. Orlandina cut the gap even further, or they need some solid defence to keep Goss out, off the rim. Decent rebound from Jackson. Catsivelis looking for the American once again. Catsivelis for 3. Not quite as successful this time. So Orlandina have their moment. Delas. And they look for Begovic from outside once again. Stojanovic could opt to go himself. Gets a helping hand from Delas, but Jackson is in his face. And it seems to unsettle the young guard. Jones outside. Finds Catsivelis. Oh, lovely fake. Shook off Donda. Jones, but foul called. Offensive foul as well. Jones was called, in fact, out of bounds, which escaped me, but this was Ali Begovic. Lovely step, and then back outside like a little ballerina. Ali Begovic. Kulboka back in the game. Hasn't got his outside shooting, but Delas gets the rebound, and Stojanovic will profit. That lead down to 11 now. It's not quite panic stations just yet, though, for the home team, although that's sloppy from Catsivelis and Orlandina ball. Home crowd didn't like the call. It was Kulboka off the rim. Very unconvincing shot. Delas. He forced his way past Jackson. Well, he opts to take the unselfish option, but Jones had a hand in there, and the foul is called on him. Stojanovic under all sorts of pressure, taking on virtually the entire PAOK team, and he's still made the layup. That is pretty sweet indeed. And now the deficit is down to single figures. Not if Goss has anything to do with it, though. Jackson off balance and sets it up once more for Jones. Jones finds Margaritis, but the foul is called. Watch this again from Stojanovic. Does terrifically well to maintain possession, but gets a rebound off himself and finishes off the layoff. He's had a very fine game so far. 12 points to his name. But here's PAOK. Katsivelis. Margaritis floats it up, can't get there. All sorts of rebounds, but the block comes in, and De Carlo will be quite happy with Orlandina there. Kulboka spinning this way and that. Back out to the corner. But again, it's not successful. Katsivelis. Here's Jones for three. Needed that. PAOK just to settle one or two nerves. And that lead just goes back up a notch. Back up to 12. Alibegovic. Delas. Oh, great pass. Finds Alibegovic, but he tried to do something fancy when he couldn't quite finish the job off. As you see Jackson step out of the game. Just caught that on the screen while we watched the replay. Here is Alibegovic. Did he need to do what he did? It's gone out of play at least anyway. As we see a host of changes. Alibegovic out. Maynor is in. Chryssikopoulos is into the game at the expense of Margaritis for PAOK, and we're seeing Krubali come in for Jackson. Katsivelis loses it though. Those turnovers creeping back into the PAOK game. Stojanovic will try to exploit that for Orlandina. 10 seconds on the shot clock though. Delas will drive it up. Who's going to get that one? It's PAOK who come away with it. Chryssikopoulos finds Goss. Rather sensibly. 12-point lead in his pocket. Decides to try and wind down the clock a little. Jones, fouled, I think, by Stojanovic. It'll be his first personal foul as Katsivelis steps out and Koniaris comes back in, and Katsivelis has made a very significant contribution. 10 points. 7 assists as well as 3 rebounds too. Chryssikopoulos. Oh, tries to find Krubali, but came off the knee of Maynor. Over the top, finished off quite beautifully. And it's Donda who gets the points. 10-point game. Still plenty of interest in a game, remember, that is so significant for these two teams in Group B. Joss lifts it up, not very successfully though. Stojanovic takes on the responsibility, but that's a poor pass behind Delas, and here comes Jones. Tries the fancy move and can't finishing it off. He knows that would have been rather special. Maynor just doing enough to cut across him, but that was nice vision from Maynor to pick out Donda. Jones to the line though. One from two. Alibegovic for Orlandina. Here's Delas. Very mobile so far in this game. Begovic finds Donda. Oh, but the hand comes in from Krubali. Mena tries to repeat it for Orlandina. There's Chrysikopoulos from the corner. Zaras, I beg your pardon. A little free-flowing, too free-flowing, I would imagine, for Coach Di Carlo on the Orlandina bench, but like Zaras being called for the foul there. And we'll see a pause. Timeout is called, I think, by PAOK. Now you see the game leaders' stats as we head towards the conclusion of this third quarter. Less than a minute to go, 59 seconds remaining. Ludwigsburg on course to beat Neptunus. They lead by 16 now, midway through the final quarter there.
Fight strong, okay, and everybody goes for a help when the ball is on the end, okay. Our offense. We run three sides and three side opposite. We run three sides. Luck is a first player. Okay, and three side opposite. Three side for a pin down screen and then step up. Three side opposite.
Coach Di Carlo will be happy with contributions from Ali Begovic, 11 points, 12 points to Janovic, but not getting an awful lot from his bigs. Wojciechowski with 3 fouls, but just the 3 points. Donda 4, Dallas 4 himself. You'd hope for more with that size advantage that the Sicilians possess. And they can start doing that right now. Ali Begovic, Mena, Kulboka, Dallas and Donda. Here is Mena. Gets it out to Dallas, but the drive to the basket is no good, and away come PAOK. Calling for it is Chrysikopoulos. Back inside, Krubali finishes off with power. Could have got the foul, but he won't mind one little jot. Orlandina with all the pressure on them now. And they look like they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders as Chrysikopoulos is called for a foul. That was good hustle from Jones to find the vision to pick out Chrysikopoulos, and Krubali strong deep into Dallas and finding the range as well. So Chrysikopoulos, his third foul on Donda. These the opportunities that Orlandina just have to pick up. Both go right. And the advantage for PAOK remains a comfortable 13. Jones finds Koniaris. There it's Zaras too at the coup de grace. Orlandina will not be happy with the way that PAOK are just hammering them from outside right now. Mena, Ali Begovic. Would have been an outrageous 3. Decent rebound from Dallas, but shot clock violation. And the face of Dallas suggests that Orlandina are starting to run out of ideas right now. It's the end of the third quarter. 16 points. A healthy advantage for PAOK. And maybe this game within their grasp now, but so much can change in just a few minutes of basketball, can't there? These shooting stats very much in favour of the home team. These just some of the moments of the game so far. If PAOK can continue to hold on to possession not ship the turnovers. They should be okay, you would think. 15-13, incidentally, the turnover count. PAOK with slightly more. This was nice from Phil Goss. Stojanovic has certainly done his part for Orlandina. He just needs a bit of help. This was his finest moment of the game so far. Final quarter then. And Mena will try and lead Orlandina through to a remarkable comeback, but there's a little nudge coming in. It's not Mena that's been called. It might have been Donda. It is Donda who's been called. Koniaris drawing the foul. Wojciechowski in for Delas now. Orlandina have got to go for break now. Silly fouls like that from Mena on Koniaris won't do them any good. Chrysikopoulos, Krubali, Koniaris, Zaris and Jones in the game for PAOK. Alibegovic, Mena, Kuboka, Wojciechowski and Donda for Orlandina. Here is Koniaris, trying to do it all alone, but it's ripped from his grasp. And away comes Kuboka for Orlandina. Wojciechowski. Alibegovic. Hand in there from Jones. He's done ever so hard to claim that. Oh, but he can't finish again. That's been the story of his night. And 11 points to his name. He's had a fine game, but driving to the basket. They've made it so difficult for him, Orlandina, as you would expect. The style of basketball that they play.
Let's go.
14 seconds left on the shot clock, though. And still PAOK ball. As we see a change about to be made. I think it might be Stojanovic who's going to be called back into the game. Comes in from Mena. Yep, there he is. And here's Jones. Chrysikopoulos for three. Playing with a certain amount of ease right now, PAOK. Or rather graceful. Stojanovic back to Donda, who's a bit more physical, and that's a wild, wild pass. And Coach DiCarlo has to just try and keep things together right now. What on earth is going on in his head, mind you, when he saw Donda almost pass it into the stands, let alone the bench. Zaris finds Koniaris, gets it back. Looking for the layup himself, but Chrysikopoulos is under the basket and will finish the job off. That is all that PAOK now need to do to get this victory. A much-needed victory as well. Alibegovic, over the top of Donda. It's just not working for Orlandina. Nice from Zaris. Picking out Chrysikopoulos. Here's Koniaris, though. Chrysikopoulos again. Wojciechowski thought for a moment he'd got the steal. Jones. Koniaris. There's Krubali up ahead of him. Chrysikopoulos is also there. Krubali's battled for that rebound and finishes it off and ends up on his backside for his pleasure too. The sort of commitment that's got PAOK to this 20-point advantage. Oh, that was a nudge. Jones went flying, more of his own volition than anything else. Donda can't finish. And the confidence has gone from the Sicilians at the moment. Zaras finds Krisikopoulos. Corner is where Koniaris is, off the rim. Rebound on Zaras. Foul from called on Wojciechowski. And it's all looking very good for Ilias Papatheodorou. Well, that was hustle, defined from Krubali. I'm not quite sure what the inch or the hold-up is for, but there perhaps the advantage, a little bit of moisture on the court. And it just gives a chance for old acquaintances to be renewed. Nice to see that. Coach Di Carlo just having a little bit of playful banter with Lucky Jones. Koniaris finds Zaras, he'll go all the way. It opened up for him, the lane, didn't it? Symptomatic of this second half. Zaras into double figures as well. Stojanovic will try and repeat the dose until Ali Begovic tries for three. Maybe a little bit late for Orlandina, but there is still time, just about. We're inside the last 7. 19-point the gap. Krisikopoulos under pressure from Wojciechowski. It's another foul on him. But we're reaching the stage soon where it doesn't really matter now. It's got to be what has to be done. Foul though there, no foul on that one. That was just a travel called. Stojanovic under pressure from Krisikopoulos. Here's Delas, who's been quiet. It doesn't work out for him again. Koniaris comes away with it. Krubali tries to get past Stojanovic, but there was a foot out of bounds. Lovely swish from Ali Begovic there. Stojanovic looking at options. Wojciechowski is one of them. Gap down to 17. It's asking a lot, but everybody remembers their favourite team and when they pulled off the comeback to end all comebacks. Zaras for PAOK. Here's Koniaris. Thinks about going alone. Gets it back to Zaras. And why do the job alone when you've got teammates who can do that? We've seen the sort of form here that's got PAOK climbing the Greek League table. Ali Begovic, Delas, all on his own is Kaboka, but takes the foul. It's Zaras. And we'll see another one, I think. Lovely dish from Koniaris. Zaras couldn't help himself, could he? Decent finish, though, from Wojciechowski. As Zaras, well, is that the last we'll see of him tonight? With just over 5 minutes to play. Certainly Jackson looks rather comfortable on the bench there. Kaboka for three. Still won't go, but it's a great rebound from Delas, but the pass goes awry. Here's Koniaris behind the back to Krubali. He's crushed by Wojciechowski. And back Orlandina, and it's turnover once again. It's driving Coach Di Carlo mad on the sidelines. Krisikopoulos finally brings an end to the insanity. 20-point margin now. Stojanovic. As the home fans start to raise the volume, Dallas responds. But it's been a great run. They beat Aris, the Cretan Kings, Kolossos, Teroivos, AEK. Lost at Lavrio, but fine win at Olympiakos, and it's this sort of form that PAOK are taking into the Basketball Champions League as well. Jones in the corner for three. Doesn't quite work for him. Should also say they've won 2 out of the last 3, but if they finish the job off, it'll be, of course, 3 from 4. As Kuboka lands from deep inside 2-point range. Kaniaris. Karamanolis couldn't find Krubali. We're seeing the PAOK bench getting a good workout here in these closing stages. Nice and efficient play from Kuboka there. Wojciechowski needs to produce more physical presence like Dallas there. Kuboka out to the corner. No good from Lagana. Shockless now on court for PAOK. Familiar beard. No look pass to Chrysikopoulos, who drains it as if he's shelling peas. Lagana. Can they find a way back here? Orlandina. Well, there's a foul called. And it's Chrysikopoulos who's looking a little bemused. That was lovely assist from Shockless, and well, Chrysikopoulos couldn't miss from there. And he deserves the touch of the hand. There's Shockless. There's Lagana for Orlandina. Begovic. Need lots and lots of three-point plays right now. And there's one from Kuboka. He's up to 11 points now. Shockless. Oh, wonderful fake. But unlucky, it doesn't drop for him. And there's Ali Begovic. He's got to try and take the threes on whenever he can, no matter how reckless. All Shockless and the rest of the PAOK team have to do is wind the clock down. 2 minutes to go. Well, that's not exactly the most effortless three-point attempt that you've ever seen from Karamanolis. Plenty of time in his career to work on his technique and his temperament. Lagana. Kuboka. Wojciechowski, all the way out to Ali Begovic. Lagana for three. Well, it all adds to the cause. Asking a lot to come back from this sort of range, but the advantage is now 15. Foul called on Lagana. Better ball movement that, wasn't it, from Orlandina? We're not seeing an awful lot of that tonight. Shockless. Orlandina just need the ball. Chrysikopoulos has other ideas as he drives for the layup. Dallas is called for the foul. Wojciechowski, the man called for the foul, and I suspect that is his fifth. Yes, it is. Not the most successful of nights for the big. 5 points from 21 minutes of play. He had hoped for more. Chryssikopoulos 1 from 2. Dallas, sees Krubali bouncing out of bounds. Frustrating night for Dallas, no question, despite all of his endeavour. Full time in the other game, incidentally, where Ludwigsburg have beaten Neptunus by 16 points. Same margin that PAOK have here as we approach the final minute. Galipo always dispossessed, but Kaboka will just see it go out of bounds, but it was a 24-second violation anyway. He's a contented man now, isn't he? Coach Papatheodorou. Watching his team go through the motions here. Charalampoulos finds Krubali, acrobatic, finds Katsiavadis in the corner. And Orlandina, who will have some soul-searching, you would think, tonight, to see if they can somehow get into contention in this Group B. Lagana from the corner, but the officials will call it back as Shockless, I think, is called for the foul. So, assuming that it goes according to plan for PAOK, they'll go level on points with Chalon. And they'll have a 4-6 record compared to 5-4 for Alain Chalon. Galipo. Donda for 3. Nowhere near, but at least Dallas almost finishes it off. No, not even at the second attempt, and in pure frustration gives the foul away on Chryssikopoulos. To be fair, Chryssikopoulos doesn't milk it, at least in terms of any histrionics. He'll just take his chance at the strike and just push that margin ever so high. He can relax now, Papatheodorou. All successful from both, and the handshakes come out as the clock winds down, and PAOK have given themselves a shot at qualification from Group B. They go level on points with Alain Chalon, and the top 4 is still a possibility for the men from the north. And who knows what they can produce. Fine display for the bulk of this game that sees them win it by 18. And Coach Papatheodorou will be a very, very happy man to see his side pull off a 3rd win in 4 in the Basketball Champions League. And the team will celebrate in mid-court. And it has been a team effort. 13 points apiece for Zaris and Chryssikopoulos. 11 for Lucky Jones, 10 for Katsiavadis. 9-2 for Denell Jackson, who could have played a little bit more in the second half, but Coach Papatheodorou deciding to keep him on the bench. He's had a good week after his display against Olympiacos at the weekend. Not an awful lot coming back from Orlandina, mostly from outside. Alibegovic, 14 points. As you can see, Stojanovic, 12. Kuboka, 11. All from outside, but inside, Beg's not really delivering. Wojciechowski fouling out with just the 5 points. Donda 4. Dallas, the skipper, He'll have hoped to have produced a little bit more, 6 points and 9 rebounds, as we watch some of the key moments of this entertaining Basketball Champions League Group B encounter. Donnell Jackson getting PAOK going. Orlandina now down to 2 and 8 from this. Katsevelis named MVP with 10 points and 7 assists. Very efficient indeed. Terrific outside shooting at a key point in the third quarter that really extended the advantage over Orlandina. Stojanovic did his best to try and keep the Sicilians in it. That was some rebound, if you like, off the block. Kept things going. And Lucky Jones, well, he certainly had his moments as well. Two more games then coming up tomorrow in Group B of the Basketball Champions League. El Anchalon against Ventspils. And it's Tenerife against Gaziantep. So there's a lot to look out for over this next 24 hours as we start the build-up towards the end of the season. And a big game next week for PAOK. They take on El Anchalon. It could well be that will be a significant game to determine who's going to make it into the knockout stages. All the groups have been tight. Group B, no exception to that. Orlandina, well, they will really struggle to qualify after this. But let's see how they get on in their remaining 4 Group B games. From us all at the Basketball Champions League, plenty more basketball to enjoy tonight. Do make sure you stay tuned to Live Basketball TV. But from us all, it's goodbye.